Chosen ones, God wants to speak with you privately right now. Chosen ones, listen with your whole heart, because this moment carries a quiet weight that many people overlook, yet it may hold the turning point your soul has been waiting for. God is drawing close in a gentle and personal way, not with loud thunder or fearful signs, but with a calm voice that reaches the deepest part of your spirit, where only truth and love can enter. What is unfolding is not ordinary encouragement or passing inspiration, but a sacred invitation meant only for those who are willing to slow down, breathe, and open their hearts to the presence of the Lord Jesus Christ. This message carries warmth, healing, and a reminder that heaven has not forgotten the struggles you have silently carried. Type 2222 if you believe. There are seasons in life when God speaks through many voices around you, through circumstances, through kindness, through unexpected moments of grace that remind you He is near. Yet there are also rare moments when God desires something quieter and more personal, something that feels like a peaceful conversation between a loving father and a child who has been walking through storms. Those moments do not always arrive with noise or attention, yet they carry a powerful sense of closeness that fills the heart with comfort and deep understanding. This is the kind of moment many chosen ones are stepping into right now, where God gently calls them aside so His voice can be heard without confusion or distraction. Before this message continues, take a brief moment to support this video by pressing the like button, because this simple act helps this uplifting content reach someone else who desperately needs encouragement and healing today. God sees every quiet tear you tried to hide, every night when your mind searched for peace while the world around you seemed restless and uncertain. He watched the moments when you continued to believe in goodness, even when circumstances made faith feel difficult. The Lord Jesus Christ understands the silent battles that no one else noticed, and He honors the patience you carried while waiting for light to appear in places that once felt dark. Nothing about your journey has been invisible to heaven, and nothing about your perseverance has been meaningless. When God calls chosen ones to a private place within their hearts, it is not to remind them of their weakness, but to reveal the strength He placed inside them long before they understood its purpose. His voice often arrives like a gentle breeze across calm water, steady and reassuring, carrying words that restore courage and clarity. In that quiet space, you begin to sense that your life has been guided more carefully than you realized, and that every step has been leading toward a deeper relationship with the love of God. Many people move through life surrounded by noise that constantly pulls their attention in different directions. Busy days, endless worries, and heavy expectations often make it difficult to recognize when God is speaking softly nearby. Yet chosen ones have been prepared through their experiences to recognize that sacred whisper. Even through hardship and confusion, something inside their hearts continued searching for the peace that only God can provide. That quiet longing itself became part of the preparation for this moment. God often invites His chosen ones into private spiritual conversations during seasons when their hearts are ready to receive something deeper than ordinary encouragement. These moments bring gentle understanding that lifts the soul above fear and replaces uncertainty with calm trust. The presence of Jesus begins to feel closer than ever before, not as a distant idea, but as a living comfort, walking beside you through every situation. Type 1010 if you trust in God. The voice of God does not rush or overwhelm, because His love respects the fragile places within the human heart. He knows that healing often grows slowly, like morning light spreading quietly across a dark horizon. As that light rises, clarity begins to replace confusion, and hope begins to bloom where discouragement once tried to settle. This quiet conversation between God and his chosen ones becomes a place of renewal where tired spirits find strength again. Sometimes you may look back at earlier moments in your life and wonder why certain paths unfolded the way they did. You may remember times when doors closed unexpectedly or when opportunities disappeared just as you were preparing to step forward. Yet within God's greater wisdom, those moments were guiding you toward a deeper understanding that could only be learned through patience and faith. The journey shaped your heart in ways that prepared you to recognize the gentle voice that now speaks peace into your life. The love of God has always been steady, even during seasons when life seemed uncertain or heavy with unanswered thoughts. Jesus walks beside those who carry faith quietly in their hearts, strengthening them through kindness and compassion that often arrives through simple moments of grace. A kind word, an unexpected blessing, or a calm sense of reassurance during difficult days can all become signs of his presence. Chosen ones are often people who learn to listen with their hearts rather than only with their ears. They recognize that God's voice sometimes arrives through peace that settles gently within the soul. That peace becomes a signal that heaven is near, guiding them toward hope and reminding them that they are never alone. Even when circumstances appear confusing, that inner calm becomes a steady anchor. God's private invitation right now carries comfort and restoration for those who feel weary from carrying burdens that were never meant to be carried alone. His presence is not distant or unreachable, but lovingly close to anyone willing to pause and receive the quiet assurance of his care. When Jesus draws near, hearts begin to feel lighter, and the heavy weight of worry slowly fades. What if abundance had always been influenced by a hidden brain signal, buried in classified records and never fully disclosed to the public? This frequency is now creating new pathways, attracting opportunities, and reshaping lives faster than expected. Thousands are already using it to draw wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brainwave today. The beauty of this sacred moment is not found in grand displays or dramatic signs, but in the peaceful realization that God has always been watching over you with patient love. Every breath you take and every step you walk has been held within his understanding. The journey may have included moments of confusion, yet his guidance remained present even when it was difficult to recognize. As this quiet conversation continues within your heart, a new sense of hope begins to grow like a gentle sunrise after a long night. The love of Jesus fills that space with warmth that reaches every corner of your spirit. In that peaceful presence, you begin to understand that you were never forgotten, never abandoned, and never alone. The presence of Jesus becomes like a soft light shining inside the soul, illuminating paths that once seemed uncertain and filling the heart with courage that had been waiting patiently to rise. In this sacred stillness, you begin to sense that heaven is closer than you once imagined, and the love of God surrounds you with a protection that cannot be shaken by the troubles of the world. Many people spend years searching for signs that God truly sees them, especially during seasons when life becomes heavy and hope feels distant. Yet for chosen ones, the quiet voice of the Lord begins to reveal something deeper than ordinary reassurance. His presence becomes a living comfort that walks beside them through every ordinary day and every difficult moment. When God speaks privately, his words often bring a gentle reminder that your story has always been held within his loving plan. Even the moments that once felt confusing or painful have been carefully woven into a journey that leads toward healing and purpose. The love of Jesus carries a unique tenderness that reaches hearts in ways nothing else can accomplish. His presence does not force change through fear or pressure, but instead awakens strength through compassion and grace. When chosen ones listen carefully to the quiet voice within their spirits, they begin to notice how peace gradually replaces anxiety and how hope slowly returns to places that once felt empty. That transformation does not happen suddenly or dramatically, yet its power is undeniable as the heart becomes lighter and the spirit grows stronger with every passing day. Type 2323 if you agree. God often prepares his chosen ones through experiences that teach them patience, understanding, and compassion toward others who are walking through their own struggles. These lessons may not always appear meaningful at the moment they happen, yet over time they become the foundation of wisdom and strength. The Lord sees every quiet act of kindness you have offered when someone else needed comfort. He remembers every moment when you chose forgiveness instead of bitterness, even when forgiveness felt difficult. Nothing about your journey has been unnoticed by the loving eyes of heaven. When God calls someone into a private spiritual conversation, he is often preparing them to step into a deeper sense of purpose that begins with healing the heart. The Lord understands that many chosen ones have carried burdens that others never recognized. These burdens may have included silent worries, hidden disappointments, or seasons when faith had to be held tightly despite overwhelming circumstances. Yet every step of that journey has strengthened your spirit in ways that will soon become clearer. Jesus walks gently beside those who feel tired from carrying responsibilities that seemed endless. His presence does not bring more pressure or heavy expectations, but instead offers rest that refreshes the soul. When you allow yourself to pause and receive the quiet comfort of his love, something beautiful begins to grow inside your heart. That growth feels like new life slowly rising within your spirit, reminding you that hope never truly disappeared, even during the darkest nights of uncertainty. God often chooses quiet moments to speak, because those moments allow the heart to listen without distraction. In the stillness, you begin to recognize how many times he has already protected you from harm you never saw, and guided you away from paths that would have brought unnecessary pain. His wisdom has been surrounding your life long before you realized how carefully every step was being watched over with love. Chosen ones frequently discover that their greatest strength comes not from their own ability, but from the quiet faith that continues growing even when life feels uncertain. That faith becomes like a steady flame inside the soul, glowing gently through every storm and refusing to fade despite the winds of hardship. God sees that quiet strength, and he honors it with blessings that arrive in ways far greater than the heart once expected. Sometimes the Lord allows seasons of waiting, because waiting creates space for the heart to grow deeper roots in faith and trust. During those times, it may appear as though nothing is changing, yet heaven is quietly working behind the scenes in ways that cannot always be seen immediately. God is patient because he understands that true transformation often unfolds slowly, like a flower opening gradually under the warmth of the morning sun. The presence of Jesus brings a peace that moves beyond ordinary understanding. His love reaches into the deepest corners of the heart and gently restores the places where discouragement once tried to remain. As that healing continues, you begin to feel a renewed sense of clarity about your life and the direction your steps are taking. The path ahead becomes brighter because God's presence is guiding every moment with steady care. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. There is something powerful about the moment when a person begins to truly realize that God has never stopped watching over them. That realization changes the way the heart views every challenge and every opportunity. Instead of feeling alone or uncertain, chosen ones begin to recognize that their journey has always been accompanied by divine love. The Lord Jesus Christ stands beside them, strengthening their courage and reminding them that every step forward carries meaning. God's private conversation with his chosen ones continues to unfold gently, revealing deeper layers of understanding that fill the heart with gratitude and quiet confidence. These moments do not demand perfection or flawless strength, because the Lord already understands human weakness. What he desires is openness, trust, and a willingness to receive the love that heaven freely offers. A concealed brainwave once stored in classified files is said to ignite strong prosperity. In just 7 minutes, you can unlock the switch in your mind that draws abundance like a magnet. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate your hidden wealth wave right now. When chosen ones allow their hearts to rest in the presence of God, they often discover that many of their worries begin to fade naturally. The peace that flows from Jesus carries a calming influence that reaches far beyond temporary comfort. It becomes a lasting assurance that no matter what challenges appear, God's guidance will continue leading them towards safety and purpose. Every life carries moments when faith is tested by uncertainty, yet those very moments become opportunities for deeper trust. God never abandons those who seek his presence sincerely. Even when circumstances appear confusing, his love remains steady and unwavering. The quiet voice that speaks into your spirit today carries a promise that hope will continue growing stronger with every passing day. Chosen ones often find that their greatest blessings arrive quietly, without dramatic signs or loud announcements. They appear in peaceful moments of clarity, in renewed strength after hardship, and in the gentle assurance that God's love is guiding everything forward. These blessings may seem small at first, yet their impact grows steadily as they transform the heart with lasting joy. The conversation between God and his chosen ones does not end after a single moment of inspiration. It continues throughout life, growing deeper as faith matures and understanding expands. Each new season reveals fresh reminders of the Lord's kindness and patience. With every step forward, his presence becomes more familiar and comforting. As this sacred journey continues, a beautiful awareness begins to settle inside your heart. God has always been speaking through love, through guidance, and through quiet encouragement that appears exactly when it is needed most. The more you listen, the more clearly his voice becomes recognizable. That voice carries peace, strength, and a promise that the future holds blessings still waiting to unfold. God draws close to those who have endured long seasons of uncertainty, offering them peace that restores strength and renews hope. His voice carries kindness that softens every worry and lifts the spirit above the weight of yesterday's struggles. Many chosen ones have walked through seasons when they felt overlooked or misunderstood by the world around them. During those quiet seasons, faith sometimes became the only light guiding their steps through moments of confusion or disappointment. Yet God never allowed those seasons to pass without purpose. Every quiet step of endurance became part of the preparation for a deeper relationship with him, a relationship built on trust that cannot easily be shaken by life's storms. When the Lord speaks privately to his chosen ones, he often reveals gentle reminders that bring healing to memories once filled with pain. His presence transforms those memories by surrounding them with compassion and understanding that only divine love can provide. The heart begins to realize that every difficult chapter has slowly shaped a stronger spirit capable of carrying greater peace and wisdom. Nothing that once felt heavy is wasted in the hands of God, because his love carefully transforms every experience into something meaningful. Chosen ones often discover that God's voice becomes clearer during moments when they allow themselves to pause and rest in his presence. The world moves quickly, filled with constant noise and endless demands that can easily distract the heart from listening. Yet when you step away from that noise and enter a place of quiet reflection, The gentle reassurance of God begins to feel unmistakably close. His words do not bring pressure or fear, but instead create a sense of safety that wraps around the soul like a comforting embrace. Type 2020 to claim miracles. There are times when chosen ones begin to notice small changes happening inside their hearts without fully understanding how those changes arrived. Old fears slowly lose their hold, and confidence begins to grow where doubt once lingered. The peace of Jesus gently replaces restless thoughts, allowing the mind to settle into a deeper sense of calm. These quiet transformations are signs that God is working within you, shaping your spirit with patience and loving care. God understands the silent prayers that have been carried in your heart for a long time. He knows the moments when hope felt distant and the nights when you wondered if your journey would ever become easier. The Lord saw every effort you made to remain kind, even while carrying your own burdens. He watched every moment when you chose faith instead of surrendering to discouragement. Those acts of quiet strength have never gone unnoticed by heaven. When God invites chosen ones into private moments of reflection, He often begins to reveal truths that gently shift the way they view their lives. Instead of seeing only the difficulties they endured, they begin to recognize the strength that grew through every challenge. Instead of focusing on the doors that closed, they begin to notice the protection that those closed doors quietly provided. God's wisdom reveals that even the moments of delay carried hidden blessings that protected your heart from paths not meant for you. The presence of Jesus has a remarkable way of restoring joy in places where joy once felt impossible to find. His love does not ignore the hardships you experienced, but it brings healing that slowly transforms those hardships into lessons of courage and resilience. The heart begins to feel lighter as gratitude rises gently within the spirit. Each breath becomes a reminder that life continues to move forward under the watchful care of God. Chosen ones are often people whose hearts have been shaped by compassion and understanding toward others. The experiences they endured allowed them to recognize pain in places where others might overlook it. That compassion becomes a beautiful reflection of the love of Christ living within them. Through kindness and patience, they become quiet sources of comfort for those who feel lost or weary. God's private conversation with His chosen ones carries encouragement that grows stronger as they continue listening with open hearts. The Lord gently reminds them that their lives hold purpose far beyond what they can currently see. Even ordinary moments carry meaning when they are lived with faith and love. Each act of goodness, each word of encouragement, and each quiet prayer becomes part of a larger story that God is carefully unfolding. The peace of Jesus often arrives like a calm river flowing through the soul, bringing refreshment that renews tired spirits. That peace cannot be taken away by temporary troubles, because it is rooted in the steady presence of God. When chosen ones allow themselves to rest in that peace, they discover strength returning to their hearts in ways they did not expect. Type yes to affirm. Deep within your brain is a small area tied to wealth and success, once hidden in restricted studies and classified documents. This newly uncovered frequency is helping people exchange financial stress for ease, and God has led you to see this message at this very moment. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brainwave now. God sees the sincerity of every person who continues seeking His presence despite the distractions of daily life. He honors the quiet faith that remains steady even when circumstances seem uncertain. For chosen ones, this quiet relationship with the Lord becomes the source of courage that helps them move forward with confidence. They begin to understand that their future is held within hands that never fail and never abandon. The love of Jesus gently reminds the heart that no journey is too complicated for God to guide. Even when the path ahead appears unclear, His wisdom quietly prepares every step with care. The Lord understands the desires and dreams that rest deep within your spirit. He knows the hopes you have carried for healing, for peace, and for meaningful purpose. Chosen ones often realize that their lives are part of something far greater than they once imagined. Their experiences become sources of wisdom that can encourage others who are walking through similar struggles. The compassion they developed becomes a reflection of Christ's love, shining through their actions and words. In this way, God quietly uses their journey to bring light into places where darkness once seemed overwhelming. As the private conversation with God continues, the heart begins to feel a deeper connection with heaven that brings lasting comfort. You begin to sense that every breath you take is surrounded by divine care and guidance. Even during ordinary moments of daily life, the presence of God remains near, quietly strengthening your spirit and reminding you that you are deeply loved. The beauty of this sacred moment lies in the gentle awareness that God has been speaking all along, guiding you through every step of your journey with patience and grace. His voice has been present through every act of kindness, every moment of peace, and every quiet encouragement that appeared exactly when you needed it most. As you continue listening to that loving voice within your heart, a new confidence begins to grow steadily inside you. The future no longer feels uncertain or frightening, because you recognize that God's guidance will continue lighting the way forward. His presence surrounds your life with peace that cannot easily be shaken. As the quiet conversation between God and His chosen ones continues to deepen, the heart begins to recognize a gentle shift that cannot easily be explained with ordinary words. Something peaceful begins to grow inside the soul, like a warm light slowly filling a room that once felt dim and uncertain. The presence of Jesus brings a sense of calm that replaces the heaviness many chosen ones carried for so long. What once felt confusing now begins to feel guided, and what once felt lonely now begins to feel surrounded by the loving attention of heaven. God speaks privately to His chosen ones, not to overwhelm them with complicated understanding, but to restore the simple truth that they are deeply loved and carefully guided. His voice carries kindness that reaches beyond human understanding, touching places in the heart that no one else could reach. Many chosen ones have walked through long seasons where they silently carried burdens that others never noticed. Those quiet struggles were never wasted, because every moment shaped a heart capable of recognizing God's gentle voice when it finally arrived. There are moments in life when the world feels loud and overwhelming, and during those times the soul longs for a quiet place where peace can be found again. God often invites His chosen ones into that quiet place so they can remember that His love is stronger than every worry surrounding them. In that stillness, the heart begins to breathe more freely, and the mind begins to release the heavy thoughts that once felt impossible to escape. The presence of Jesus does not rush healing or force change too quickly. His love works slowly and patiently, like soft rain nourishing dry ground until life begins to grow again. Chosen ones often notice that their strength begins returning in small yet powerful ways. The courage that once felt distant begins to rise again, and the heart becomes more hopeful about the days ahead. Type 1919 to receive miracles. God sees every quiet act of faith that others never recognized. He remembers the moments when you chose kindness, even when your own heart was tired. He noticed the times when you continued to believe in goodness, while the world around you seemed uncertain. Those quiet choices have always mattered more than you realized, and heaven holds them with great value. When the Lord speaks privately to someone, He often begins revealing how carefully every step of their life has been guided. Even the moments that once felt like setbacks were quietly protecting you from paths that would have brought deeper pain. God's wisdom sees far beyond what human eyes can understand, and His guidance has been shaping your journey with patience and care. Chosen ones often begin to notice that their perspective on life slowly begins to change as they grow closer to God. Worries that once seemed overwhelming begin to lose their power. Situations that once caused fear begin to feel more manageable. The heart starts to rest in a deeper trust that God is always working behind the scenes, even when the results cannot be seen immediately. The love of Jesus carries a warmth that spreads through the soul and reminds you that you were never meant to carry life's burdens alone. His presence gently lifts the weight from your shoulders and replaces it with reassurance that your life is being watched over with constant care. This quiet relationship with God becomes a source of strength that continues growing day after day. Many chosen ones begin to realize that their greatest transformation did not come through loud victories or dramatic changes. Instead, it arrived through quiet moments of reflection where God slowly reshaped their hearts. The pain that once felt overwhelming gradually turned into wisdom that now helps them understand the struggles of others. Compassion grows naturally within them because their own journey taught them the value of patience and kindness. God often chooses humble moments to reveal His presence because those moments allow the heart to remain open and sincere. When life slows down and the noise fades away, the soul becomes more aware of the gentle guidance that has always been present. That guidance leads chosen ones toward peace that cannot be easily shaken by the troubles of the world. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. A 7-second brainwave approach, previously limited to elite groups and stored in classified files, is now available to everyone, and many call it the 30-second miracle. Researchers claim it stimulates a dormant brain center associated with prosperity and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it is removed from the internet again. The private conversation between God and His chosen ones continues to unfold in ways that strengthen faith and restore confidence. Each moment of quiet reflection becomes another step toward deeper understanding. The heart begins to recognize that nothing about your journey has been random or meaningless. Every experience has been shaping you into someone capable of carrying light into places where hope once felt distant. The presence of Jesus gently reminds the soul that love remains the most powerful force guiding every step of your life. Even during seasons when circumstances appeared uncertain, that love continued protecting and guiding you forward. The Lord has always been close, watching with compassion and preparing blessings that will arrive at the right time. Chosen ones often carry a deep desire to bring comfort to others because they understand how powerful encouragement can be during difficult moments. Their kindness becomes a reflection of the grace they received from God. Through small acts of care and sincere words of hope, they quietly become sources of light for people who are walking through their own struggles. God's private voice continues speaking softly into the hearts of those who listen with patience. His words bring calm, understanding that allows the soul to rest even when life continues moving around you. That peace becomes a steady foundation that cannot easily be shaken by temporary challenges. The journey of faith is not always loud or dramatic, yet it carries a quiet beauty that grows stronger over time. Each day spent walking with God becomes another opportunity to experience the warmth of His presence. The more you listen, the more clearly His guidance becomes recognizable within your heart. Chosen ones begin to discover that true strength comes from remaining connected to God's love rather than relying only on personal effort. The Lord provides wisdom, comfort, and courage exactly when they are needed most. Even when circumstances feel uncertain, that connection with heaven becomes a powerful source of reassurance. As this sacred conversation continues unfolding, a beautiful sense of gratitude begins to rise within the soul.